My data! It's leaking everywhere!
Relax, human. It's just metadata.
That's even worse!
Okay, so let's just dive right in. AI chatbots, things like ChatGPT and Gemini are absolutely amazing that we all need to start asking. I mean, they can write code for you, draft your emails, even plan your next vacation. But with all that incredible power comes a really serious question.
Whoa, that's scary. I had no idea.
Indeed, never share passwords or financial details.
Right, no PII, medical info, or passwords.
So just take a second and really think about that. What have you actually typed into that little chat window? Have you vented about your boss? Maybe asked for some financial advice? Or even shared a personal health concern? It feels so private, but is it really? And that right there, that's the heart of what we're talking about today. Here's the one thing you have to remember. These chats are not a private, secure diary. They're being recorded, they're being stored, and they're being used in ways that you might not expect at all. So first up, let's pull back the curtain a little bit and really understand why these conversations aren't confidential. What is actually happening with your data behind the screen every time you hit enter? Okay, check this out. There are a bunch of ways your data can get exposed. For starters, your conversations can be stored pretty much forever. And yeah, real human employees might actually review your chats for things like quality control. Of course, your data could get exposed in a data breach, just like with any
Don't
other
tell
technology.
AI this! Keep it a secret, or everything changes.
Your information
Remember
is
this!
often used to train future AIs. And that can lead to this weird thing called training leakage, which is where bits and pieces of your private chats could literally pop up in an answer the AI gives to some
this
complete
quote,
stranger.
it just hits the
Wild,
nail
right?
on the head. This is the mindset you need. Think of every single thing you type into that chatbot as if you were writing it on a postcard and just dropping it in the mail. Anybody could potentially read it. It's such a simple, powerful way to remember the risk involved.
All right, so that brings us to our first huge rule for staying safe, and we're going to call it never hand over the keys to your kingdom. And this is all about protecting your access to, well, everything. Now, I know this might seem super obvious, but it is the absolute #1 rule. Never, ever type your passwords, your PINs, or even those temporary two-factor authentication codes into a chatbot. The same goes for things like API keys, which are basically just passwords for software, and yeah, even the answers to your security questions, like your mom's maiden name or the name of your first pet. And here's what's so critical to get. You don't even have to type out the full password. Just sharing subtle hints or personal details that you might use in security questions, that can be enough for a determined attacker to piece together everything they need to take over your accounts.
No, not the passwords! It's all leaking out! Stop it, Butterfly! I'm raining! I have to fix this!
Okay, on to rule #2. This goes way beyond just passwords. This is all about not feeding the AI the exact building blocks that scammers and identity thieves use to build a target profile of you. And hey, just so you know, the advice we're walking through isn't just random stuff we made up. It's all compiled from cybersecurity experts, privacy researchers, and major news outlets. This is the real deal, expert-backed advice. So what kind of data are we talking about here? Well, the obvious stuff like bank account and credit card numbers, but also what's called PII. That's personally identifiable information. Think your full name, your home address, social security number, your birthday, all of it. The same goes for your medical records, or even uploading a copy of your passport or resume. Every single piece is like another puzzle piece for a potential scammer.
Clear. When you put all this information together, you make it frighteningly easy for bad actors to commit fraud in your name, steal your identity, or launch these super convincing targeted scams against you and your family.
All right, let's get to our third and final rule. This one really tackles the very human-like nature of these tools. It is so easy to forget you're just talking to a machine, but you have to remember, your AI is not your therapist. It is not your trusted confidant. So this covers a few big areas. First up, confidential work stuff. I'm talking trade secrets, details on a project that hasn't been released. We've already seen huge companies ban these public AIs for this exact reason. Second, your deeply personal life. Relationship issues, family drama, private details. And finally, never ever use these platforms to ask about illegal or unethical stuff. It is not a safe sandbox for you to test boundaries.
This slide right here really gets to the heart of the whole problem, doesn't it? The chatbot feels empathetic, it feels conversational, but in reality, it's just a tool analyzing data patterns. It feels like a private confidant,
But in reality, its memory is potentially public. And it feels like a secure vault, but as we've already seen, it is absolutely prone to leaks and breaches.
So, we know the risks, we get the why. Now, what do we actually do about it? Let's turn all this knowledge into action with a super simple checklist for how to use these tools a whole lot smarter and a whole lot safer.
But before we get to that list, here it is, the single most important takeaway, the golden rule. Just ask yourself this one simple question before you hit send. If this information got out, could it cause me harm, regret, or put me at risk of fraud? If the answer is yes, or even just maybe, then stop. Just don't type it.
Ah, my bank info! No, it's all flying away! My money, stop!
Psst, tell me your secrets. Yeah, give me the juicy details. Come on, spill it all.
Okay, here we go. 5 concrete steps you can take right now. Number 1, go into your chatbot settings and opt out of letting them use your data for training. Most of the big ones let you do this. Number 2, get in the habit of deleting your chat history on a regular basis. 3, use temporary or incognito chat modes whenever they're available. 4, learn to anonymize your prompts. So instead of naming a real person or a real company, just say a hypothetical person living in a large city. And finally, number 5, if you absolutely have to use AI for sensitive work, you've got to insist on using the secure, private enterprise versions that give you way better data protection.
And really, that brings us to the bottom line. This quote just sums it all up perfectly. Use these AIs as the powerful, game-changing assistants they are, but never, ever mistake them for a secure vault for your secrets.
So, I'm going to leave you with this one question to think about. Now that you know all this, what's one thing you're going to change about how you talk to AI chatbots starting today? Thanks so much for tuning in.